और मे कहाँ बनता है, तो फॉलो किसको करेगा, आई को, मे, और फिर आगे लगा दिया हमने बी। तो प्लेसिंग फर्स्ट के हिसाब से लेके चलेंगे। आपने प्रैक्टिस कर रखी है, मैं डिक्टेट कर देता हूँ, 5 या 7 मिनट लगेगी, उसके बाद फिर 100 की डिक्टेशन लिखेंगे। रेडी, स्टार्टेड। इट इज, it is not, it was, it may be, it can have, it should be, it would not, of it, of them, of that, of her, of me, of my, of our, of course, to do, to this, to have, to meet, to send, to stay, to reply, for this, for that, for you may, for many, for myself, for anyone, if we can, if they may, if you can, if you would, if no one, and they, and this, and we, and I, and is, and his, and as, and has, and there is, and there has, and be seen, and have done, should have, should be, should not be, should now, should there, should this, should we, on his, on which, on many, on your, on our, on those, on that, on their, but they, but we may, but must, but can we, but that is, but this, but there, I have this, I had them, I do that, I shall be, I thank you, I think that you are, I know that we, you are, you would be, you can, you come, you go, you may, you should, we can, we have, we shall be, we do, we had, we may, we are, he is, he has, he is not, he has not, he was, he cannot be, he may have, he may be pleased, he is unable, she is, she was, she may have, any more, any time, in any case, they may be, they can be, they must, they thought we, they have, they do not, they just, this can have, this can be, this could not, this may, this time, this does, that it, that they, that this, that may, that has been, that is not, that has not, that is never, that has never, there are, there cannot, there can be, there was, there would have, there is no one, have his, have as, have us, have that, have they, have them, have not, have never, have you been, have we seen, which is, which has been, which has not been, which we not, which we now, which cannot, which should have, which may have, had you, do you, had they, had them, do they, do them, had that, do that, had we been, do we know, how can they, how many we, how may we, how long, how are, why it, why does, why they, why have we, whether it is, whether it has, whether they, whether there are, who can, who gives, who was, who is, who has, who would be, who must, who should have, with it, with which, with us, with his, with them, with these, with thanks, with that, with whom, when it, when do you, when had you, when they, when this, when that is, when that has, when have we, when is, when his, when has, what it, what is, what has, what does, what was, what have we, what may, what can they, what would be, would have, would never, would not be, would say, would respond, would go, would the, would this, as it, has it, as it has, as it is it, as this, has this, is this, as that, has that, is that, his that, as they may, please take, please have, please do not, take place, taking away, of those, of this, of these, in much, in which in each I talk, I take, I took of those that have been of this type of these who can, in much the same, in which you may have, in each of them, and of, and to, and should, we should I should, at any time, at no time. बना पाए आप? स्पीड की वजह से छूटा तो नहीं? जो अगर आपका स्पीड की वजह से नहीं छूटा तो आप बेटर पोजीशंस में हो, आपने प्रैक्टिस कर रखी है। वो अगर आपके माइंड में चीज़ें ब्लैंक हो जा रही थी तो आपकी इसकी प्रैक्टिस की जरूरत है। ठीक है, मैं कुछ पिक्चर्स आपसे शेयर, ये इसके सामने क्या करना है, इन पिक्चर के सामने आपको इसके नीचे इंग्लिश लिखनी है जो अभी मैंने सेट दी है, और जो सामने बने हुए हैं इनके आगे सिर्फ आउटलाइन की प्रैक्टिस करनी है, कंप्लीटली पूरी आउटलाइन की प्रैक्टिस करनी है। तो आप इस तरह से इसकी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। ये सेट आप जितना जल्दी सबमिट कर देंगे, जब जैसे ही सेट के साथ में आपका पार्ट 2A सबमिट हो जाता है, पार्ट 2B सबमिट हो जाता है, और पार्ट 2B की डिक्टेशंस आप साथ साथ ले चुके हैं, मैंने साथ साथ डिक्टेट कर दिए इस बैच में और 12 वाले बैच में। जो डिक्टेशंस मिस है वो वीडियो पढ़िए, उससे आप ले लेंगे। नेक्स्ट स्टार्ट करेंगे, आगे कंटेंट स्टार्ट करेंगे। होमवर्क को नहीं छोड़ना। होमवर्क आपको सबको अपना पता है कि क्या होमवर्क करना है। होमवर्क है आपका बेसिक्सली, अगर एक को 4 बार कर रहे हो तो 4 एक्सरसाइज करना है, 2 बार कर रहे हो 8 से 10 करना है, और अगर सिंगल टाइम करो तो 16 से 22 करना है। उसमें कॉम्प्रोमाइज मत करना, वो बेस है। ये पैरेलल चीज़ें है, इनकी तरफ तब जाना जब वो चीज़ें पूरी हो जाती है, भले ही एक दिन डिले हो जाए। ठीक है, डिक्टेशन लिखोगे, रेडी? Start it. Start. Sir, the House will remember that over the past few years that we have been here, we have been demanding a change in the structure of our taxation, and it is only this year we have heard the Finance Minister announce that the time has come when the tax structure of our country must be changed. What exactly is the change in the tax structure that is going to be made still remains to be seen. Only the other day, on the 3rd November in Calcutta, Mr. Pant, chairman of the Finance Commission, was stating that the financial stability of the state and the central governments, as well as the successful implementation of the 11th five-year plan, depended to a large extent on a radical change of outlook of the people towards taxation. In that speech, he also made it clear that he would expect the common people to pay more taxes. Now, if the change of structure of the taxation system is to be sought in order to continue to exact the limited savings of the common man, deprive him of the necessities of life, then I would not be in favor of any such change. If, however, the tax structure were to be changed for a policy that would make the rich pay for the 11th five-year plan, I would be in favor of it. I make it clear that it has never been the contention of the people that they would not bear the responsibility of building up the country. In fact, our workers in the factories are sweating day in and day out so that our industrial production goes up. If today we claim higher industrial output, it is preciously because our men in the wheels of industry have so behaved themselves and have so worked for the well-being of the country, that despite the mechanizations and intrigues of the capitalist class, despite their greed for more and more profits, it has been possible to bring about a sizable increase in the industrial output. The credit entirely belongs to the working people of our country. Similarly, if in the agrarian sector of our economy, the production of food has gone up simultaneously, rising thereby the total national income, that is also because of the fact that the peasants, however poor, however destitute, and however suffering, have responded to the call of the government. It is only because of their devotion to duty for the cause of the country that we are today in a position to claim before the whole world that our agricultural production has gone up. I say this because we must remember that it is the people who are paying with their blood, paying with their sweat for the rebuilding of our country's economy, for the rejuvenation of our nation. Our capitalist friends who regard themselves as the captains of industry and have produced more shipwrecks than happy sailings would please note that this particular fact, that it is these men, working people, whether in the agricultural sector or the industrial sector, who are responsible for the rise in production, and therefore it is they who have brought about an increase in the national income from which they have been denied their legitimate share. Mr. Deputy Chairman, now we are discussing the question of taxes. The Finance Minister is in a very chastened mood these days. I think that he is in a very happy posture of mind today when he makes such speeches. He forgets that merely by taking money from the rich, you don't distribute to the poor. We have seen in the United States, in Germany, in England, where heavy taxation measures obtain. At the same time, relatively speaking, the poverty of the people continue. Sometimes it is so happens that the ruling class, the capitalist class, for their common general interest, which is certainly something broader than the interests of, shall we say, the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, when they promote certain broad interests of the class as a whole, where various factors operate, not merely the fluctuations in the stock market, they are obliged to take certain measures which sometimes even evidently and manifestly hit against what appears to be their immediate interest, but that should not delude us into thinking that the capitalist class in our country, or for that matter, that this government has adopted a policy of making the rich pay for the poor. That is not at all so, and the rupees 1600 crores or so, out of which only rupees 1000 crores would come from the direct taxes, should not make us think that there has been a radical change in this direction that we all desire. We welcome the halting step that the minister takes. We welcome the steps, however belated, and we welcome even the pickpocketing of the capitalists. It requires only a pickpocket to get rupees 1000 crores from the capitalist class. Even when they do such things, we always welcome them. Madam, I would like to say a few words. It was not my intention to speak on this bill at all, but having listened to the speech of the Honorable Minister towards the end of his reply, I am rather provoked, shall I say, frankly, to say a word or two about the policy of the government in the matter. It is pointless for the government and the minister here to tell us that there has not been any shift in the policy with regard to foreign participation and the role of foreign enterprise in the oil industry of our country. Now, we do not have the time nor the opportunity just at the time to recall the various utterances and statements given solemnly on the floor of this house and in the other house by the then Honorable Minister, Mr. Malviya, and others of the government, also enunciating certain basic approaches to questions of policy. What was it? In the first place, it was decided after a lot of grouping in the dark in the earlier stages that as far as the oil industry was concerned, it should be from now on developed entirely in the public sector. ये 1040 वर्ड है. 115 की स्पीड है. अब इसके बाद में आप 100 में लिखेंगे, ठीक है, ताकि आप कंफर्टेबल लिख पाओ. इसका नंबर 163 और 164 है. सोर्स केसी है इसका, ठीक है. लिखो, 100 पे लिखेंगे आप. ठीक है, किसी को टाइप करना है तो आप टाइप कर सकते हो. नेक्स्ट लिखो.